Let's just say this theoretically speaking. There is a tiny possibility, but in practice, in terms of interests and geography, the possibility is very small these 2 days. A South Korean TV station spread the news that North Korea would send troops to the Ukraine battlefield as early as July. Then the United States also joined in, criticizing and blaming vigorously, but the protagonist of this event, North Korea, has not expressed its position as for the attitude of the Russian army. Don't even look. It would be wrong to do so. The Russian army is now longing for North Korea. The North Korean soldiers would appear on the Russia-Ukraine battlefield tomorrow, pulling North Korea into the water. The Russian army has a precedent. In March and September last year, the Russian media twice hyped that North Korea was going to fight in Ukraine. The pressure on the Russian army has been too great in the past 2 years. Someone is urgently needed to share the pressure and divert the firepower. Not long ago, the Russian army and North Korea signed a mutual defense agreement. This treaty stipulates that when one party is under aggression, they will provide mutual assistance now on the Russia-Ukraine battlefield. In the 4 regions of eastern Ukraine, according to Russian law, the 4 regions in eastern Ukraine already belong to the Russian territory. Basically, the mutual defense clause has been triggered. Theoretically speaking, North Korea can enter the battlefield, and many of North Korea's weapons, artillery shells, are of the same origin as those of the Russian army. They are also very convenient to use, but the possibility of actual implementation is very low. Why do I say this? Let's first look at the map. Look at the distance between North Korea and the Russia-Ukraine battlefield. The straight line distance is nearly 7,000 kilometers. It spans the entire Eurasia. The actual distance would be more than 10,000 kilometers anyway. How could North Korea get there at such a distance? If by ship, the distance would double. Finally, you have to enter the Black Sea from the Mediterranean Sea. The surrounding countries are all NATO members. Besides, Turkey won't let you pass either. The Black Sea is inaccessible if by plane. How many people can be carried? Then only by train. Take the longest Trans-Siberian Railway in the world, all the way from Vladivostok to Moscow, a distance of 9,288 kilometers. Then go to the battlefield from Moscow. I feel tired just looking at it. Not to mention the supply of food, grass and ammunition. Is there such a way to fight? The closest ally of the Russian army is Belarus. Belarus is right next to the Russian-Ukrainian border. It is the most suitable to enter the battlefield. The Russia-Ukraine war has lasted for nearly 900 days. Belarus has been reluctant to enter the battlefield and doesn't want to get involved. Do you think North Korea will travel thousands of miles to be a sucker? Now the Russian army has only 100,000 to 200,000 troops on the battlefield. With such a small number of troops, the Russian army has no way to capture any medium or large-sized city of the Ukrainian army. It can only capture a few villages and take a few towns. Even if North Korean soldiers arrive, a small number is useless. A large number can't reach there. The effect on the battlefield is negligible. The weapons of the Russian army are not good. The weapons of North Korea, which is weaker than the Russian army, how could they be any better? But if North Korea enters the battlefield, it can attract firepower for the Russian army, divert the fire to North Korea. As for why South Korea would release the news that North Korea is sending troops to fight in Ukraine, do you think it's possible that South Korea wants to increase the aid of weapons to the Ukrainian army and find an excuse for itself? In the face of interest, they all have countless tricks up their sleeves.